Smooth health on the drive.
It's a global observation that helps raise people's awareness.
Insightful tips and information to live in a healthier and happier life.
How to prevent it, detect or treat it.
Smooth Health is powered by Evercare Hospital, Lekki, transforming healthcare in Nigeria.
If you didn't know, now you know.
This is Smooth Health on the Drive.
Smooth 98.1, love music, love life. Hello everyone, welcome to the show. It's brought to you by Evercare Hospital, Lekki, and today on the show we'll be talking about a serious medical condition that affects children and also adolescents, and that is childhood obesity and its causes and consequences as well.
Now, to join us, to have this conversation with us rather, we have a specialist with us. She's a dietitian, Vivian Okorocha. Vivian is a registered, licensed and practicing dietitian, nutritionist. She's got over 10 years of experience in clinical nutrition and diet therapy. Now, just a quick walk back through time about what Vivian has done. So she graduated from Imo State University. She's diagnosed individuals with diet-related diseases. She's prescribed therapies. She's worked on modification plans and even interventions to manage patients ranging from pediatrics to geriatrics. And she's currently practicing at Evercare Hospital, Lekki.
Thank you so much for coming in, Vivian.
Thank you.
Good to have you here.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. You can be a part of our conversation. If you've got questions for Vivian, you can reach out to us on our WhatsApp platform, 0809-444-0981. Also, you can call the studio lines. The number to call is 0144-89981. So let's jump right into it, Vivian. Okay. Let's start with the basics.
Okay.
So what is childhood obesity?
Childhood obesity is significantly, that means it's obvious. You can see when a child is overweight, over his age and height, it is obvious that this child looks way bigger than what his age or her age should be like and what the height can carry. So childhood obesity covers ages from 2 years to the teenage age, maybe early stage of adulthood.
Okay.
So childhood obesity just explains to us that you see when a child is way bigger, overweight, compared to what he's supposed to be. Layman understanding what you're supposed to see. Yes,
so the child is obviously bigger.
Yes, it is obvious, so you can see. This is when the child is not in the hospital yet, so you can see. But you still have backup when you come into the hospital and you run some tests to see that these are the test reports to show that, yes, this child is obviously obese. So that's what childhood obesity is.
Right. Okay, so when sometimes people see children who are a bit bigger than their counterparts, they say, oh, it's baby fat. Have you heard that term? And could that be childhood obesity?
So like I said, childhood obesity would use ages 2 till the teenage age. So when you hear this child has baby fat, it happens from birth months till about 3 years. Yeah, it can happen that children will grow taller because of the genes. It can happen that fat will never disappear. So we should never have that as an ideology or an orientation that this child is supposed to be big because he will grow with, or that's baby fat, he will grow with it or he will get out of it. Some of these children never get out of that weight or this obesity.
Okay. So what are the causes, though, of childhood obesity?
So we're moving straight to lifestyle because it covers a large part of it. Lifestyle, little or no activity level. Your child is not active. Your child is
for
doing
a child
more.
At 2?
Sorry?
For a child at 2.
Yes, children at 2 should be active. You should let them play.
Okay.
Yes, you shouldn't restrict them. I know in Nigeria especially, we do not have safe places. Yeah, some people do not have safe places where their children can be allowed to go play. But children should be allowed to play. That gives room for them to use up the calories they get from the food that they consume. So little or no activity is actually a cause of childhood obesity. The dietary part, when children get involved or get to eat a lot of calorie-dense food, lots of carbohydrates, no spread in food, no protein. There are children who do not like to eat beans.
Yes, I was one of those children.
Okay. And you also have children who tell you they do not like fruits. They've never eaten fruits. They don't want to eat fruit and vegetables. You get to meet children, of course. You would have gotten to see children who tell you they don't eat vegetables. Or when you make meals with vegetables, they pick out these vegetables. So this diet pattern or diet lifestyle is something that would actually put the children at risk of childhood obesity. Yeah, so little or no exercise, imbalance of the energy intake and expenditure. That's what it actually means. When there's an imbalance, the child is eating a lot and not doing a lot. So there's more stores happening, leading to this obesity that we're talking about.
All right. Thank you so much for that. I'm sure that a lot of people out there will be wondering what the symptoms of childhood obesity, what the symptoms are, really. Because, outside the visible or the obvious signs of seeing a child that's really obese, what are the symptoms?
Okay, so you see obese children sweat a lot. Yes. So from sweating, they could get skin irritation, rashes. Yes. To an extent, they could begin to get an odor.
Wow.
Yes. So when they sweat like that, it happens like that. So you also have joint pain. Yeah, that's from the extra weight, the extra pounds that they carry. You see an altered growth pattern. You see the children having knock knees. Yeah, they get stunted. They don't grow taller because they have a lot of weight they're carrying. Yes, it's just like you're carrying a bucket. It presses you down when it's more than what you expected to carry. Yeah, so they get stunted too. Yes, it happens that way. Then you have children that begin to get fat tissues in the breast area. That happens with boys. You see boys with some
moves.
So it happens like that. You get to see that too. Then you have early puberty in girls.
Okay.
Yeah, so they grow the breast quick. Yeah, then you think they're so grown, but it also happens that way. It happens that they would also experience constipation, eating a lot of carbohydrate foods, no vegetables, no fruits, nothing to help this digestion happen fast. So constipation will set in. You have snoring, excess weight. Yeah, it also exposes the child or put the child at risk of lifelong metabolic diseases, type 2 diabetes, high cholesterol level, high blood pressure, hypothyroidism. That's when the thyroid gland doesn't produce enough thyroid, and then you see low metabolism. Low metabolism, the child is slow, the child is fatigued, the child is always tired, you get shortness of breath. So you see these things happen in children. This is as a result of childhood obesity. So these signs are the things that you look out for, apart from the type 2 diabetes that may come in later on. But it could be that they start to show up some signs that you're not aware of. Then you take them to the hospital, they run some tests, and then you see that, this child is having a high cholesterol level. Then you know that there's something very important or very serious that you have to look into. These are actually consequences of childhood obesity in children.
All right. I'm curious about this. So is there a weight range that children of a particular age have to fall under, regardless of their genes and things like that?
Okay, so for that age I gave out, you know that is not an adult age. So we have tools that we use in measuring children's weight. We have BMI. It's a different BMI for adults and children. So for the children, we have that attached to their age percentile. So it is something that you come into the hospital.
Okay.
We'll run this checks, and we'll get your weight, get the height, and then use that to work with the percentile and know what the child is. Any child that falls above 95, or that's 95th percentile, is actually an obese child. So coming to the hospital and running these checks and seeing all of this. You also have what we call MUAC, mid upper arm circumference. That's the check the fat level in the upper arm. So that's also one tool that you'd use in checking out for childhood obesity. There's the waist hip. So you see children with the upper body obesity is obviously bigger than the lower body. It doesn't balance. Yes. So that is also another tool for you to measure this childhood obesity. So there are various tools apart from the significant signs that you can see. We also work with clinical signs, especially for parents from home. Those are the things that you get to see before you take it up as a concern.
All right. If you just joined us, we're discussing childhood obesity, its causes and consequences. And we've got a dietitian with us in the studio. That's Vivian Okorocha. And you've got questions. If you've got questions for her, please call the number 014489981. Or you also can just send us a WhatsApp message. Please send that to 0809-444-0981. We'll go on a quick break. When we get back, we'll do some more talking. Don't forget, this is Smooth Health. It's brought to you by Evercare Hospital.
This is Smooth Health on the Drive.
It's a global observation that helps raise people's awareness.
Smooth Health is powered by Evercare Hospital, Lekki, transforming healthcare in Nigeria.
Love music, love life. We are Smooth 98.1.
When it feels good, yes.
98.1. It just feels good.
Music is about soul healing vibes that transcend you with lyrical grooves, lifting you into love as you flow through. Life, my music, its frequency
98.1.
Love music, love life. You're listening to Mind Muse.
Welcome back. Smooth 98.1 still is what you're listening to. This is Smooth Health. It's brought to you by Evercare Hospital. We're talking about childhood obesity. And of course, like we mentioned just before the break, if you've got a question, please send them to 0809-444-0981 or just call the studio lines. Call the number 0144-89981.
Now, apart from the obvious, you did mention this earlier, cause of childhood obesity, where perhaps more food is taken in that is utilized in other ways. Yes. Could there be other health complications that could cause childhood obesity?
So I would think about the medications that are being used. There are some medications that could actually lead to obesity. So children who are exposed to using steroids, that's a side effect from steroids, is added weight. Then children who are taking diabetic drugs, there are children who are born with diabetes, so that could actually be one side effect. Antidepressant, seizure medication, most of these things. I wouldn't go into medication because that's not
another
my line. So I just come in when there is obviously an overweight child. This has happened and they want us to work on managing or bringing down this weight. That's where I come in. So I won't delve into that part, but I just have an idea that these things happen. This is a side effect, and children shouldn't be, made feel bad because it has happened. That's
because people make fun of children and say, "Oh, you eat too much. That's why you're fat," and things like that.
Yeah, which is actually not good. We actually need to work on that. People shouldn't talk about people's weight, especially children. They are developing. Their minds are growing. So the more words you tell them that's what they grow with. So when they keep hearing you're fat, you're ugly, you're not beautiful, you're this, you're that, they get depressed, they get to seclude themselves, they stay on their own, and we know obviously what depression leads to. They also get stressed, emotional trauma comes in, and then bad things will be expected. So we should try as much as possible not to talk about their weight. You encourage them, they can get better, they're beautiful, get them to be active, get them to do one or two things, and make them, it could also be a joint thing. You can get active and push them to do it. They'll do it. When you do it together, it's beautiful. It shows love. So we really need to take up this change because of children, because children grow into adults.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Let's talk about how parents can tell if their child is obese. Can it be diagnosed? I know we've talked about, just by physically looking at these kids. But how can a parent just tell that, this child is obese? There's something off with this child.
So I'm afraid we'll go back to the physical.
Okay.
Yes. Because that's the power they have.
Okay.
I see you slim, and in 3 to 4 months, I see you have some added weight, especially in the upper part. I know it's different. It's not the usual. Then I'm aware that my child is gaining a lot of weight. Not good. Yes. Their eating habit. Children will get addicted to food. You could see that, and you know that this child is at risk. It could also be a risk factor that you'd get to find out, and then you pick it up and say, this child may soon become obese. So food addiction, eating habit, being inactive, you get to see that if this child is having any diet-related disease, you could also pinpoint and say, yes, this child is either at risk or is actually obese. And you could also bring the child to the hospital where he can properly be diagnosed with some test reports, do some laboratory tests, do cholesterol level tests, blood sugar tests to see how much or what their ranges are, and then you can diagnose and start to manage from there.
Okay, so after diagnosis has been made, we expect that treatment should follow. So can we talk about that?
Okay, so as a dietitian, children that are obese, we just do diet and lifestyle therapy. That's the intervention that we use.
Okay.
Diet would have to modify. Look for a means to introduce these children to low calories. They used to be on a high calorie. That's what they know. So we have to modify it to low calorie, low fat, no fried foods. Fried foods, double calorie. Yeah. So no fried foods, reduce the sodium in this children's meal, because sodium will lead to fluid retention, and that's like more weight coming in.
Salt.
Yeah, that's salt and seasoning.
Okay.
Yeah. So we work on diet, we work on changing most of the processed foods that parents introduce to children, convert them or change them to natural sources, more fruits, more vegetables, more cooked meals, colorful meals, because you have the vegetables put into the food, and then we'll go into lifestyle. Allow the children get active, get them involved in sports activities in school. They're actually risk factors that would limit the child. One of the risk factor is the environmental factor, where the child doesn't have a safe place to play. But we can form a portion, or we can get active with them. I keep saying that you also need to get active with them so that they see that it is a good lifestyle. Because one of the guidelines that we give to parents is to do these things, and the children will look at it and emulate it. They learn from their parents. Charity begins at home. So they see it and they understand, they believe that it is good. They pick it up. When you're cooking, cook the right meal.
Right.
Get them involved in this cooking so that they see what you're cooking. They know what is added in what you cook, and they know that these are the right things to do.
So it's more like a lifestyle modification
and a lifestyle thing
for parents and child.
Yes, get them active, get them to walk to school, get them to do things on their own, get them to limit their TV time. Do not eat with electronic distractions, eating and watching TV. The more you see this program, the more you eat, of course. Yeah. So diet and lifestyle basically is the tool that we as dietitians use to manage most of the diet-related diseases, childhood obesity inclusive.
Okay, I'm curious about this. When the pandemic is still on, of course, but a few years ago it was worse than it is now. A lot of children were out of school, they were learning from home. Did you see or notice an increase in childhood obesity in that time?
Yes, of course, because children were more at home. They were learning using the internet, phone, computers. They were doing little or nothing. Parents would advise for them to sleep. Don't disturb me. You're home now. Go and sleep. Go into your room. Don't stay with me. Go and sleep. Right. So that happened. We got to see more turn up of children with obesity coming to the hospital. Yeah. So we actually encouraged for them to get active and then change what exactly they were eating, because a risk factor is the socioeconomic factor, where we're not exposed to or when we're not at reach of natural foods. So we have more packaged foods, more foods with shelf life, more processed foods stored at home. That happened during COVID because we were not able to visit the market and the rest. So we had a lot of packed food at home, more food with shelf life, more prepackaged foods. All of that happened, and children were exposed to a lot of consumption of this food. So it actually brought about more diagnosis of childhood obesity. But no hope is lost. It will be corrected.
Wow. I like the fact that you said it can be corrected and will be corrected. Yes. But, for some people that are very anxious, curious, impatient, is there time? Is there like a time frame to, work on such a child, that's obese? Could it be a 1 month period, 2 months, 3 months, 1 year?
I like to call it a lifestyle. So if it's a lifestyle, you're not giving the child a time frame. If you give them a time frame, children are very curious. Oh, mommy, you said it's 6 months. It's over 6 months. I've not dropped more than 3 kg or 5 kg. They're very inquisitive. Yes. What has happened? Why has it not happened? You get questions like that. So you make it a lifestyle. Let them know that this is what is right. This is what is good. This is what is best for you. You're going to grow up healthy, no illness, no diseases. So they believe that this is what they should do. This is what they should continually do. So it becomes something that they always want to do, and not I have a 6 months plan. Right. So we as dietitian, I know you would come there. Oh, does it mean the child and parents will have to keep visiting? So we have intervention and follow-up. So we do follow-up, monthly follow-up. So after 2-3 months, at most 6, we see that this child is losing weight. Even with little or no effort, we know that it has become a lifestyle. We can let you be. So once in a while, we can reach out to you via the hospital plan, and then we'll ask you how you're doing and how is it going. If there's an issue, they could call back. They should get back to you and review what we've done. So whilst the child is at that, we get to change the diet plan so it doesn't get boring and monotonous. It gets tiring when they keep eating rice and beans for Monday morning, beans and yam for Friday evening. Oh, let's do Fridays, beans and yam. So they are aware. After 1 month or 2 months, they get tired. Oh no, mommy, don't tell me it's beans and yam. Today is Friday.
So you need to switch it up.
Yes.
Right. So I'm curious about this. So Vivian, are parents solely to blame if they have children suffering from childhood obesity related to their eating and their lifestyle patterns?
So it's a family thing. This is Africa. This is Nigeria. As long as a child has come out from the mother, it now belongs to everybody. So as long as you're related to that child through school, through family blood relationship, friendship, whichever means, you have a role to play. Okay. Your introduction to most of the processed food gives the child room to eat most of these things. So everybody has a role to play. If you have a family trait of being obese, then you have a large work to do. Don't make the child believe that because mommy is big, Daddy is big, uncle is big,
So you
grandma
have
is
to be
big.
big.
I must be big. If I'm not big, I'm a sinner. No, don't make the child feel that way. You have to make the child understand that this is not usual. We have to work together to get it done.
I like the way you put it. Oh, wow. If you just joined us, where have you been? That's the big question. We've been talking all about child obesity and, its causes and consequences. And we have a dietitian, taking us through this conversation. Vivian, it's been wonderful. Just before we let you leave, though, there are a few more questions we need to ask you.
If only we had a bit more time.
Okay. Parting words. So there might be questions that we left out that we didn't ask you. So what are those things that people should be concerned about or people should be aware of?
Okay. I want us all to know that the family trait, that's the orientation that we have, that we're all big and we must all be big, is not correct. Yes. And then parting words as a dietitian. One mission of ours is to change the orientation of people's nutrition habits and behaviors. Let's have a different mindset. Let's know something new. Let's know the correct nutrition pattern. What it's going to do is to help us cut down the risk of these life-term diseases. Change the orientation that we have about food, because I'm sorry, very soon nutrition is going to take over. Yeah, I said it.
And I
Yay
believe
for
it.
the dietitian.
I believe it.
Thank you.
All right. So also, I'm sure that our listeners would love to contact you at Evercare. They would love to know where your hospital is. So how can the good people out there listening find you at Evercare?
Okay, so we are located at 1 Admiralty Way, Bisola Dorosimi Eti Drive, Lekki Peninsula Scheme 1, Lekki, Lagos. And our website is www.evercare.ng. You can reach us via our telephone number 081-3985-0710 and email us at info@evercare.ng. And I'm there. I'm around.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Vivian.
You're welcome.
A dietitian from Evercare Hospital, Vivian Okorocha, registered, licensed, and practicing dietitian, nutritionist with over a decade of experience in clinical nutrition and diet therapy.
You can hear that experience just coming all the way out.
Thank you.
All the way out. Thank you so much, Vivian. A pleasure having you here. Look forward to seeing you again.
With me. You can visit me in the hospital.
Will do. All right, Lagos, there's more to come. Stay with us. Don't forget, this is the Smooth Drive on Smooth 98.1.
Smooth Health on the Drive.
It's a global observation that helps raise people's awareness.
Every
of cancer.
Thursday at 5:15 p.m.
If you didn't know, now you know.
Powered by Evercare Hospital, Lekki. Transforming healthcare in Nigeria.